English as a lingua franca remains a good idea in theory, but its downfalls still outweigh adoption. In addition to the issues I previously explained, consider that technology will likely sidestep the need for a lingua franca, English is not spreading as a mother tongue, and that the language itself is becoming muddied by non-speakers. Although English is considered the current lingua franca, advances in speech recognition and translation devices will alleviate the need for a common language. This nullifies the argument my opponent made for the prevalence of English on the internet and the difficulty, cost, and time involved in changing it to another language. Technology will also alleviate the issues surrounding heavy accents and lost context because the person will not have to learn a foreign language. Using a translation device alleviates the loss of vocabulary due to learning a new language and sidesteps the heavy accent issue altogether. As an article in The Economist states, quote, English will fade as a lingua franca, Mr. Osler argues, not because some other language will take its place. No pretender is pan-regional enough, and only Africa's linguistic situation may be sufficiently fluid to have its future choices influenced by outsiders. Rather, English will have no successor because none will be needed. Technology, Mr. Osler believes, will fill the need. End quote. No longer will it be an argument that English is the primary language of the internet because of the prevalence of translation devices. Also, there will not be a large expenditure of time, cost, and effort to shift the lingua franca. Instead, this will be in the form of research and development, and will likely boost the economy as devices are introduced to the market. As for the fate of English, the article continues, quote, if he is right about technology too, future generations will come to see English as something like calligraphy or Latin, prestigious and traditional, but increasingly dispensable, end quote. While today English is prevalent, it could become tomorrow's lost language, especially because it is not expanding as a mother tongue. English is not expanding as a mother tongue and is simultaneously changing, both of which fare poorly for the argument for it as a lingua franca. Oxford's University Press said, quote, English is expanding as a lingua franca, but not as a mother tongue. More than 1 billion people speak English worldwide, but only about 330 million of them as a first language, and this population is not spreading, end quote. As time passes, less and less people will preserve English as a mother tongue. For those who do preserve it, this traditional English could be quite different than the prominent English as the language is becoming muddied by non-native speakers. The Oxford article continues, quote, what has so far tended to be denied is that, as a consequence of its international use, English is being shaped at least as much by its non-native speakers as by its native speakers, end quote. This means that less people will be speaking it, and those that currently do speak it may still have difficulty understanding foreigners because of their effect on the language.